Real quick, I want to do a fair use.
Challenge, only challenge, but it's okay to hate the black man. Black man, I'm gonna say it from me to you. This is just straight up. Black women, 80% of them, they don't like you. 80%, I'm probably sure it's more, but at least 80% of black women in this day and age, it don't matter how old or young they are, they have a general dislike and hatred for you. That's your real climate, brother. See, I'm not telling you something that you ain't already felt. I'm telling you something that you know. I think it's more too. I truly think it's more too. And I'm tired of being the one that's not talking about it. I've said this. This is one of the main reasons I don't have a lot of black female friends. I really don't, y'all. I don't. I couldn't imagine what it would be like as a black man to want to fuck these bitches, to want to wife them up and have babies, but the only...
Yeah, so this is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it. When she's going to see what a man more finer than gold, than the gold of Ophir, right? Because then it should be known who are my chosen, because in the time of Jacob's trouble, Yaakov's trouble, the Lord said that his servant shall eat, right? You know, one shall put 5,000 to flight and two, 10,000 to flight, right? You're going to know who's the Lord chosen, but what's going to happen? And shame shall cover her, right? Because when the time of to be chosen, when, in the time of Isaiah 4, right? Some women are going to come up and say, hey, let us be called by thy name. And you're not going to be chosen, right? Shame shall cover her. Which said unto me, where is Yahawah thy power? Right? Where's Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi, your power? Right? You're supposed to be the Israelites. Ain't you the black Hebrew Israel? No, we're just the Israel. Nah, you the black Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Right? All these things you're gonna find out. My eyes shall see, right? Which means behold, which means to look, to feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Her now shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's the time that we're about to fastly approaching, right? Because you get it's Esau's ruling. You have the police and you have these, you got 911. But in that day, you're not going to have 911, right? The system is completely, totally going to collapse. It's going to be the purge, real life, not a movie, right? It's going to be a horror movie in real life, right? And there's no one going to be there to save you. And you will be like the mire of the streets. So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa QaDash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to your sisters, you Achwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawah with the lesson. Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart, which is la'ab, their mind, is snares and nets, which is basically a trap, right? So these women, they don't like you. and they'll play mind games, and they'll call you a narcissist, but the one that's the narcissist is them, right? That's why they play these different mind games and try to see if you could chase them, and how much you would chase them, and then um basically, like the lady was saying, she was being honest. 80%, probably more, like you said, probably more, close to 90% of so-called black women hate you, right? But they'll play this mind game with you. You'll have sex with, like, they'll let you have sex with them here and but and they think they're just playing a game with you. They know that they don't really like you, and really it's because no one who they really want don't want them. No other race of men want them, right? You might get a white man or something here and there, but what kind of white man are you gonna get? A poor white trash white man. So that makes you better? You you'd be better off dealing with Jake. At least Jake got some rhythm, and at least Jake can he got talents and skills. You give it some Edomite, some regular little Edomite. That don't make no sense, right? But I guess it helps though, because I guess they, the Edomite ain't going through the curses the way you're going through, so it makes them hate you. At the end of the day, but they know they don't like you, so they mind La'ab mind their hearts is snares and nets, right? They trap you up. Saying, get pregnant and see if they can put you on child support. They don't like you, but let's just do this anyway, right? Let's play a game. And her hands is bands, right? Yeah, like I said, child support or something, some type of thing, who whoso pleaseth the power of the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And a lot of jakes get set up by these women. They either end up in prison behind child support, or behind trying to sell drugs, trying to appease this chick, or you end up dead. Either which way. Or hey, sometimes they just leave you, have a baby by you, and won't let you see your kid, right? Unless you pay child support. If you refuse, she may say, hey, I won't put him on child support. I won't do any of that stuff, but he won't be able to see him. Nope. I will never let him see his kids. Just full of snares and traps, man. And her hands is bands, right? Just madness. 80% to 90% of women hate you. Black women hate you. But the other women hate you. And then they hate that the other women love you. What that brother doing over there with that white woman? Hey, you didn't want me, right? You hate me. No, I think that I don't want you. It's just I hate you. And I don't want you. I don't want you to have someone else. So I want you just so someone else can't want you, right? I'm gonna jam you up, and then I'm gonna say you're a cheater. You cheated on me, right? Meanwhile, you're, of course, you're the neighborhood, hood rat. You're community property everywhere you go, right? Just jam you up. The hands is bands, right? They just jam you up. You're in a relationship. You can't be cheating on me. Make you feel bad and all this. Man, snares and traps, bro. Snares and traps. Yeah. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to be like the mire of the street. You're going to get stumped out in these last days. You're going to be meeting the teeth of wild beast, right? And the fowls of the air. right? You're gonna get the 4 ways of death, man. Not to mention apes, whatever else. Like I said, Esau got the laser weapons, these drones, you know, a bunch of wild men, right? Do you like Benjamin did that concubine and have your way with you all night long till you drop dead, right? Things are gonna happen to you, so which is already happening to you, so-called black women, right? It says as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the age, right? Like an old man trying to climb up a sandy hill. So is a wife full of words, right? Won't shut the hell up. Won't shut up. To a quiet man, right? A nice, good, quiet man. He's good. You can do nothing but raise his blood pressure and kill him. You're just wicked, man. You won't shut up, right? It says stumble not at her beauty, right? Because a lot of you women are beautiful, but you don't mean Jake any good. You don't care. You hate him. So stumble not at her beauty, the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. Hey, don't desire her for sex. I mean, because we could bring the Israelite back through the other nations. I mean, we came through another nation, right? We became a nation in Egypt. So guess who was going through Egypt? Mostly the Egyptian women, but that was like a national port. People from all nations went through Egypt, especially when Joseph was the reason that the world was able to thrive. Why Egypt was such a mecca sort of place. It was such a what do you call it? I'm trying to think of it. I don't want to say but it was a it was a hot spot basically. Yeah, it was the place to be, so to speak. Kind of like America is now, right? That's why this is spiritually Egypt. Because of the bondage, but also it had its prevalence. It had its heights. Where it was the place? It's the place to be. It's the place where all the nations are at. Right? It was like a melting pot. Everybody had, especially in the time in that great drought, when Joseph, had saved 7 years plenty, so they could survive that 7 years of famine. Everywhere else, they all had to different nations and different people had to come to Egypt to get their to get their food, to get their grain, which brought in all different types of women. Yes, and even the Edomite woman, right? And oh yeah, you can't forget Moab. Oh yeah, Elam. Oh, I love Elam. Elam women is, whew, man. But yeah. So this is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous, right? Running her mouth, da 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 da, just like we were reading earlier. Full of words, right? You know, just especially like to a man that's quiet. It's like a old ass man trying to go up a hill. It's draining. It's like it's almost impossible, man. Right? You know, she won't shut up. You know, and sometimes they mean well by it, But for the most part, you heard it's because she hates you, right? 80% of them hate you, right? Which is probably more, like she said, I think it's more, and it probably is more. It's probably closer to 90%, and maybe even more than that. Might be 95% of so-called black women hate you. That's why she's clamorous, simple, and knoweth nothing, right? Especially according to the Bible, man. You don't know to to hold on to a man of the Lord, right? You want the things of this world. You want the things now, right? She for she sitteth at the door of the house of her house on a seat in the high places of the city to call passengers who go right on their way, right? Trap you up, snare you up, right? Yeah, so this is Amos chapter 7, verse 17. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi, thy wife shall be in whore in the city, right? And that city is where Babylon, right here, America, Babylon the Great, which is spiritually Sodom, spiritually Egypt, spiritually, Assyria, right? Spiritually Nineveh, basically that merchant city, right? It says, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, right? This so-called gang banging, right? And also the women, the time of Jacob's trouble, women are coming up found dead all the time, right? As a matter of fact, it was just here in Phoenix. There was a couple, a man and his wife were found in their car dead. That's the son. That's a son and a daughter found dead in a vehicle, just like the other day, right? Not too long ago, a couple days ago. I don't know if it was 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but it's quite recent, right? They were found in a car dead together, right? In this place, Babylon the Great, right? Only type of place that happens like that here, right? We're in the valley of the shadow of death, man, right? Shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and it's being divided by line, all right, and the other half is being blown by smithereens, and then they're talking about signing some type of peace thing, and they're going to divide it, so-called, again with the Palestinians and make some type of peace. But right now they're blowing the Palestinians, to kingdom come, so to speak. And but yeah, it was divided between the Ishis and the so-called Palestinians, right? Which really are Ishmaelites. They're not Hamites, because Palestinians are meant to be Hamites. And of course, the true children of Israel are the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian over here in the Americas. And then we got Israelites scattered around the world, but you know what we're saying, right? Those are not it. Those are the ooish, the wishy-wishies, the wishy-washies, right? And thou shalt die in a polluted land. Here in America, Babylon the Great, right? This is not dry rest. It is polluted. It will destroy you. And that's where we're at, in a polluted land. And Israel shall surely go into captivity, forth of his land. Yeah. And that's where we're at here in Babylon the Great. Right? That polluted land. The valley of the shadow of death. Where our wives are what? Harlots. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wrong. So she'll commit adultery on you. She'll call the men in the city by the way where she sit at. She'll call them by the way. She'll be a harlot in the city. Wipe her mouth and, hey, I ain't done no wrong. Why? Because she hates you. She don't love you. 80% to 90% of so-called black women do not love you. She hates you. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa, QaDash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, Yahawashi, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah.